I'm gonna blow up like 148. He's gonna blow up 168 to 170. Now it's like you in a ring with somebody that is like 20 pounds bigger than you.
No, I thought you was bigger than this, bro. You know I'm not big. Wait, why do you think I was big?
God, oh man.
The thing is, like, you gotta have some type of punching power to get me off you, because it'll be a different style, and I'm not gonna hit him light.
Turn what you go.
We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxingego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Hey. We are all gathered here to discuss inconsistencies with the fighters. Shakur Stevenson does not know when to quit. Shakur Stevenson under fire after claiming he wanted to fight Ryan Garcia, but now putting up brand new weight stipulations on Ryan Garcia. This video, I will unpack everything. You don't want to miss it. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I have no time to waste. I don't want to waste your time. I don't want to waste my time. Shakur Stevenson finds himself in very familiar territory. Constantly putting out notions publicly through interviews, through social media, through tweets that find him on the losing side or the short end of the stick. And I gotta go in and I gotta talk about it on my channel. I'm very fair. I don't have nothing against anybody that goes without saying, but enough is enough. And Shakur, he just keeps doing it, bro. And it's like, you're a great fighter. Ring IQ is up there, especially for this new generation. But that same smarts that you bring into the ring and for your preparation, where is that in terms of conduct when you are doing these interviews? Like, it's mind-boggling. You would think smart fighter in the ring would have a way with their words outside of the ring. Like, hey, he conduct himself in a certain way in the ring and he's savvy, so he's gonna be savvy, but it don't always translate. It's kind of like Michael Jordan, greatest basketball player ever. That don't mean he's the greatest coach or owner ever. Even though you would think like, hey, if you the greatest NBA player of all time, you would transition and be like one of the greatest owners of all time, but it don't always go hand in hand like that. So I got to get busy in this unpack. Now, Shakur was on Joe Rogan. I've already talked about it a little bit, but you guys requested. I told you in the last video, if you wanted me to do an unpack, we gonna do the unpack. We unpack coming to you live. And I got more to say. So first of all, think about this. These fighters have PR people, right? Between the camp, the fighter, the PR people, look at who these fighters are going to interview with, right? Now, I don't know Rogan, never met him, nothing like that. However, I do know Rogan has had controversies where he was making racial jokes about Planet of the Apes and all that type of stuff, right? I do know that. I do know he's MAGA, right? And he's far right and things like that. So I don't really know that his mostly UFC audience and far right audience really even knows Shakur or would be able to connect with Shakur. Keep in mind, Shakur, there have been times where he's talked about he couldn't get a fair shake with Top Rank, right? Because of his skin and his skin color and being black on Top Rank, much like Terrence Crawford. So notice a pattern. Terrence Crawford was on Joe Rogan recently. Now Shakur's on Joe Rogan recently. And let me tell you, a lot of these far-right people, they don't want to hear no stuff like that. They're going to say, oh, you a baby. Oh, you crying about your skin color. And that is not true. How do you have millions of dollars if there's discrimination? You know, very low-hanging fruit type of arguments that try to dispel any type of like racial consequence for the race fans and hold people accountable for what they are doing. You know what I mean? So my personal opinion, I don't really see outside of, okay, I get it. Joe Rogan has reach and impressions, but for me, these are the same people, and I'm going to lump Crawford and Shakur in the same boat. These are the same people that talk bad about Top Rank, saying that they didn't respect the black fighter, and Lomachenko and Tyson Fury's got better pay or better opportunities, got the red carpet treatment, right? But then you go on Joe Rogan, which I just went over, right? And not only are you going to Joe Rogan, again, outside of the impressions and the reach, what is it doing for your brand? Because if anything, you're contradicting yourself again, which leads to Boxingego to make a follow-up video where I gotta cook you and show the receipts. Stay tuned to the end of this video. And while Shakur is a guest on, and I'm not even just talking about Rogan specifically, but I do know, based on what I've seen from Rogan's, like, I want to say the bulk of his fan base, they definitely aren't going to be sympathetic towards like Shakur talking about the double standards for black fighters and stuff like that. Come on, bro. We know what it is. They're not trying to hear that. They're like, oh, you're making excuses. You know, you DEI and all this goofy stuff, right? So there's that. Two, on top of that, when Shakur is doing these interviews, I don't know why, but he's going on Aiden Ross, very similar. Aiden Ross, remember he had Trump on the stream and he was like telling his base to vote for Trump, all these types of things, right? And now in America, we're pretty much at war. In America, gas prices they say it could go up to $6-7, at least out here in California, so on and so forth. So these are the platforms that Terrence Crawford and Shakur, as black men, are choosing to get a look. Now, choosing that's one thing. That's half the battle, right? Okay, they got good reach. You're trying to expand your brand. That would be one thing. But Shakur and Terrence Crawford, when they are going on these platforms, they are being disrespected. They are being challenged. That's the funny part about it, right? It's not like you're just going on there. Like, I guarantee you, if Joe Rogan had Elon Musk and there's a lot of hot topics about like how X is being run or this and that people would want to know, he gonna give him softball questions. But then you get up on there and then kind of making you look crazy with the line of questioning, right? Same thing with Aiden Ross. Aiden Ross told Shakur and Terrence Crawford, when they were all sitting down in front of a webcam or whatever, that UFC was better. It's not my opinion. It's actual fact. Go watch it. Told them straight to their face that UFC is better than boxing, more entertaining than boxing. Arguing with them on stream when you have two boxers. Why don't you have two UFC fighters on the show? Why do you have two boxers to denigrate them by talking about another sport is better? Like, I wouldn't get Ronaldo and somebody else on my stream and talk about how American football is way better than soccer, right? Ain't that disrespectful? Y'all let me know in the comment section. So this is what's going on, and this is who Shakur and Crawford are choosing to be platformed by. People, and then mind you, I could go, it's an unpack, so I could go a lot deeper, right? Where you have on the Aiden Ross, that actually sparked beef with UFC fighters. Ilya Poirier was like, if Crawford and Shakur were in here, they would have to make up the bed. I would slap them around or whatever. Joaquin Buckley, he started talking about how if he was in a street fight with Shakur, he can take his life, right? So this was all stemming from being on Aiden Ross's show. Fast forward to the future. Now you're on Joe Rogan, and now, again, very similar. Rogan was justifying Ryan pretty much being on something in the Devin fight. He said that it wouldn't have changed the performance, basically. And, you know, he also said that UFC fighters are worried about getting elbow kicks and checking kicks and takedowns, and pretty much alluded to UFC being like harder. Again, why do you have a boxer on your show to hoist up the UFC? To be honest, the UFC kind of trash right now. They don't got no superstars. Back in the day, it was popping. You know, they had Rampage, they had Chuck Liddell and Ortiz, and later on, Conor McGregor, Ronda Rousey, Anderson Silva, GSP, right? You had, like, even for women's boxing, women's UFC, you had a ton of people that Ronda Rousey could fight Betch Correa or Miesha Tate or Holly Holm, Amanda Nunes. There was like mad relevant, known commodities for even women's UFC fighters to fight, right? So it was standout for both men and women. More recently, now you got the UFC fighters all complained about pay when they seen Conor Benn is getting so much money for Zuffa Boxing, right? So I don't even understand why you would have a guest on your show only to say another sport is essentially better. But this is what Shakur and Crawford, Lil Bro and Big Bro, this is what they're doing for attention or whatever. And I want you guys to pay attention to that, because these two specifically and their whole camps, they always talk about like the boxing egos of the world or the YouTubers of the world talking about, oh, you YouTubers don't know, y'all don't really know boxing. You don't really understand the dynamics of boxing. You don't box. You YouTuber. YouTube. But then you go on Joe Rogan and Aiden Ross, and they definitely don't know. Put Joe Rogan and Aiden Ross up against Boxing Ego, and we'll go tit for tat, have a decathlon. I'll cook them. Bro, period. We'll talk straight boxing for hours, and we go see who run out of material. I do this. You know what I mean? I don't care what nobody say. I do this. So to take shots at boxing media, like, haven't you seen Shakur talk about fans and like on Twitter going back and forth? Y'all don't know boxing. And I'm a YouTuber, whatever. Boxing media, that's whatever. But you're doing this with fans. Some of these diehard fans, they know a lot about boxing. You know, they might be a little bit emotional from time to time, depending on the fan. But you can't say they don't know, like, the players. They buying the merch, the tickets, the pay-per-views. They know what's going on, you know, and who said what. Just go on Twitter. You'll see, hey, Shakur said this, and now he's saying it. Like, people are paying attention. So I want the record to show that. That's for starters. Now, on Joe Rogan, Shakur basically said Ryan was essentially too big and he ain't fighting him without a rehydration clause. Ryan says Shakur is really scared. I will never be on a rehydration clause again, and I don't need 20 to 30 pounds to beat you. I'll beat you straight up. You are terrified, right? And then he has a clip.
For example.
Rogan, which we'll get into in a second.
Like back in the day.
And
right there, Shakur Stevenson.
He's showing where he called out, and we'll get to the clips in a second. Stay tuned, stay patient, right? This is where he called out Shakur Stevenson to fight. He was like, yo, I want that. I need that. I want to fight Shakur Stevenson.
Let's go. Let's run that shit. Hey, I want to be a great champion, and I'm not scared of shit. I fought Devin Haney. I'll fight Shakur Stevenson. I'll fight anybody. Let's fucking go.
You know, Shakur Stevenson, Ryan. Shakur Stevenson was on our DAZN broadcast earlier, said he's levels above you right now. What do you think of that?
The thing is, like, you got to have some type of punching power to get me off you, because it'll be a different style, and I'm not going to hit him light. Nah, every every time I get, I'm put it on him, you know. I want that fight. Shakur, let's get it. I see you, hey, I like the hat. You look fly, but I want that work. Let's get it.
Congratulations.
Right there.
So, I mean, you hear Ryan on the mic, on the platform, after a great win with Barrios, calling for Shakur. Like, yo, let's get it, you know. And then the host is like, hey, Shakur said he's levels above you. Now, that's another problem with Shakur and Terrence Crawford. When they're speaking, Terrence Crawford was interviewed by DAZN on the same broadcast, Barrios versus Garcia. And Crawford was like, yeah, I just feel that Shakur, he's levels above him and he don't get hit like that and blah, blah, blah. All right, bet. Cool. But then why do you need all these concessions to fight Ryan Garcia if you just told us that he ain't not all that? Like, that's where we have an impasse, people, right? You can't have it both ways. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Tell the world a guy is trash, a guy can't fight, a guy got one punch, a guy got no smoke for you. Then he's calling you out. It would be a big fight. I'm sure the platforms you guys are involved with would pay money for it. And then when it comes down to it, Ryan would be the A side over Shakur. I don't care what y'all talking about, but I'm noticing a pattern with these Gen Z fighters like Devin and also Shakur. It's like you keep talking about, oh, Ryan can't beat me if he don't cheat, da-da-da-da. And then you start hyping up the fight and people want to see the fight. And then it turns into something else like, oh, man, the kid already said he would do VADA. Absolutely needs VADA. Ryan is always going to have that black cloud over his head because he did pop for Osterine. So I'm not oblivious to that and absolutely run it. But Ryan told Devin and Shakur, I'm going to be in the VADA. If Ryan fail another VADA test, that's 2. You know what I mean? He's going to be cooked and you won't have to do nothing. The media and the fans will rip him to shreds if they haven't already done that. So that is a burden on Ryan. But he already said he would be complicit and he would do the testing. So that's a non-issue. Ryan goes on to say, I find it very interesting. You just said I wasn't big and that I was small. I added the clip, by the way. Notice Boxingego, my talking points all of a sudden are all over the net. Now you have Ryan Garcia telling you the exact talking point that I talked about in my video. Do you guys see I am the best in the business and it's not even close? Everything I say makes its way to the internet. Now the fighters and the trainers and other fans and other content creators start telling you what I told you from jump. He added the clip on the Oblivion stream, which we'll get to. Shakur said that Ryan wasn't even that big, right? And now you want to slap a rehydration clause on me, knowing I would never accept that again. You are terrified. You don't want to smoke at all. None of your crew wants that action, so shut that trap and don't speak on me unless you want that smoke. Also, shout out to DAZN for the graphic, right? So
just do, man.
I can't even be mad, bro. I can't be mad. He's supposed to do what he's doing right there. Ryan Garcia is supposed to be doing that. Now, people, they're going to start bringing them, oh, man, Ryan, he said this and that. Bro, I don't know nothing about that. We've already addressed all that. We're talking about right specifically right here. He should be acting like this. He called you out. You were booing him and saying, let's get it on. And when you seen him, you told him he was small. And then now suddenly on the Rogan experience, it's something else. So right here, this is Shakur Stevenson on that Joe Rogan experience.
If a guy is gonna blow up to, let's say what, we'll just do me and Ryan Garcia for example.
Okay.
I'm gonna blow up like 148. He's gonna blow up 168 to 170. Now it's like you in a ring with somebody that is like 20 pounds bigger than you. Now, The rehydration clause is kind of crazy, but I will only do a rehydration clause for fighters if I go up to 147 pounds.
Bro, get your mans up out of here, bro. Get him out of here, dog. You literally just heard him say the rehydration clause is type crazy. It's kind of crazy. But I will only do it, right? I would only do it if I fought at 47. So Shakur don't want Ryan healthy. He don't want Ryan to have no type of advantage, you know?
Like back in the days, right?
It's the biggest fight right here.
No, I thought you was bigger than this, bro. You know I'm not big.
Now, right here, this was literally after the Barrios win. That's why you see the WBC belt on Ryan's shoulder, right? And Shakur seen him. His boy Crawford is right there, right? And Shakur literally seen Ryan Garcia post-fight and is basically saying how Ryan ain't even that big, right? There's Crawford right there. There's Shakur right there. And we'll focus on that. So you ran into the kid after the Barrios fight just to tell him he not really that big for real.
No, I thought you was bigger than this, bro. You know I'm not big. Wait, why do you think I was big?
God, oh man.
Wait, go.
It's like back in the days, right?
It's the biggest fight right here.
No, I thought you was bigger than this, bro. You know I'm not big. Wait, why do you think I was big?
God, oh man.
Wait, go.
Bro, so that was the clip of Shakur, and he was saying, yo, bro, I thought you was bigger than this. Golly, right? So how did we get here? Y'all let me know. All the Shakur fans pile up in the comment section, and please let me know how we arrived here. How you're going to say a man's not that big after a great performance with Barrios. You said he's not that big, and yet now you need a rehydration clause. I've been telling y'all, this generation is chopped. They act like these cameras and microphones don't exist and they can just freely say anything and nobody will know the lesser, right? I'll just say it and pretend I never did this interview, pretend I never made this statement, right? This is also Shakur in the past where he was saying Ryan was big.
With it. I'm with it like something reasonable because he's big as like that walking around 180. I'm walking around. I ain't gonna tell y'all my weight, but I'm walking around not too far from my weight.
In another interview, Shakur said Ryan is big as heck. He 180. How do you know this man's weight like that? You know what I mean? Like to put a number and then you say you're not gonna put a number on your weight. Listen again.
With it. I'm with it like something reasonable because he's big as that walking around 180. I'm walking around. I ain't gonna tell y'all my weight, but I'm walking around not too far from my weight.
So Ryan has causeway to be like, Shakur don't want to fight me because what you're saying, you don't really want to fight him. And then the problem I have is I believe honesty is the best policy. I came in the game honest. That's how I'll always be on the channel, right? So for me, you'll be better off saying I'm not a welterweight, whatever. We'll never fight because he can't make 140. And then cool. Nobody gets their hypes up or nobody get their hopes up. No one gets hyped for the fight, right? But what Gen Z does is they want their cake and they want to eat it too. You want to be the tough kid from Newark. I'm from the slums. I'm from the mud. I'm from the trenches. You want to be from the trenches. So you talk about Ryan can't compete with me. Skills pay the bills. I'll annihilate him. You got Crawford co-signing you, a great fighter in Crawford, co-signing you like, man, Shakur won't get touched. It'll be an easy fight. Shakur, you know, he not Barrios. He nothing like Barrios, so it'll be a way different fight. Show us. Show us it'll be a way different fight. And you knew, here's another problem. See, I put it in a way nobody could really deny, unless you're a hater. Don't be a hater, right? You were at Ryan versus Barrios. You knew he was fighting for the WBC right? The WBC belt, a welterweight belt. So you have all the knowledge that he's a 47-pound fighter. Why would you engage in trash talk and, yeah, I'll fight him, boo, like he can't see me, and that type of demeanor if you don't want to really fight him at that weight? And if you do, you want to stifle him with a rehydration clause that you previously tried to roast Tank for fighting. Bro, you're cooked. It's like going and people, the police believe you were involved in the shooting, and you already made one statement, and then they re-interviewed you. You made another statement. The timelines don't match up. Bill Duke voice. You know you didn't up. You didn't up right. Shakur is cooked. There's nothing he could do but fight Ryan at 147, no rehydration clause, to change anybody's mind. You put it out. Again, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You would have, that's what, I guess my message to this generation, there'd be zero pressure if you're like, hey, I just had a great win with Teofimo at 140. I'll probably stay here or fight at lightweight. I'm not looking at Ryan because he too big. I would respect that. Me personally, I would respect that because weight classes do exist for a reason. But when you're talking about, man, he big as heck, and then after that, you see Ryan after the Barrios in front of your big brother and you want to look cool, you're like, man, you ain't even that big. You're not even big, Ryan. Man, I'll cook you. And you do all that in front of the cameras. And then later, a couple weeks later, you go on the Rogan podcast, which I've already talked about the issues with that, right? You go to a Rogan podcast whose fans definitely probably not you, right? And then you back talking about, oh, I need a rehydration clause because he way too big. He 180. I'm not going to tell you my weight, but he big. You know what I mean? And then when I look at Shakur, he making it like he Willow. Like he's Leprechaun in the Hood. I want me shilling. I once was a man from Matras. His balls were made of fine brass. In stormy weather, they clanged together. And sparks flew out of his eye. Bro, you are not Warwick Davis. You are not Willow. You are not Muggsy Bogues. You are not whoever, Spud Webb or whoever you, Kevin Hart. You're not that little, bro. I've seen you next to Floyd Mayweather in pictures, seen you next to Keyshawn, we've seen you next to Ryan, seen you next to Devin Haney. We have all of the photos of you next to Andre Ward and Crawford for scale purposes. Well, you're not that small, bro. I don't know why you keep making yourself like you this, like Tiny Tim, the Indian in the cupboard. Like it's ridiculous. And then again, I can't really be mad at Ryan Garcia, right? He has his faults. He popped dirty. He did the racist stuff and the Muslim and the black stuff. Like we've already discussed that. But as far as this right here, I can't even be mad at him for saying that you don't really want it because a man got to be congruent with what he says and you're inconsistent. Of course, people are going to say that. Now, remember, your boy Ego been telling y'all this every step of the way. This generation, Gen Z, they looking cooked. And what's crazy is if I made a compilation of Shakur Stevenson interviews, like, let's be real, Shakur ain't like Floyd Mayweather, where he been around long enough. He would sound absolutely schizophrenic, right? He would sound like he suffers from bipolar disorder or some kind of disorder based on how much he's changing what he's putting out in the public. That's what I'm saying. You can't go into these interviews willy-nilly. You have to have some type of regard for what you're saying. Like, I have 8,000 plus videos on my channel, dog. Like, you got to be cautious about what you're putting out. Because how come people can't do that to me? Ain't nobody can make no video where Ego said this and then a week later I said something crazy different. And if you can, please make it. Make your compilation video. I know you can't do it because I know what I say because I'm there when I say it. I don't forget what I say. I know what I put out there in the industry. If anything, I'm so great. I'm the best in the business and it's not even close. You'll have people lie on me and say, oh, you said this, you said that, and you were wrong. And I never even said what they're alleging that I said. That's why they can't do this. But again, for me, this become easy work. Shakur, statements all over the place.
truthfully, yeah, it can happen. I just think it got to be at a reasonable weight, and I don't want no like rehydration clause. I don't want nothing that's gonna take away from me actually beating him.
So again, past interview, you said you don't want, and pretty much you don't believe in a rehydration clause because you don't want no excuses when you beat Ryan Garcia. Now you're saying something
a
else.
reasonable weight, and I don't want no like rehydration clause. I don't want nothing that's gonna take away from me actually. If a guy is gonna blow up, for example,
Okay.
I'm gonna blow up like 148. He's gonna blow up 168 to 170. Now it's like you in a ring with somebody that is like 20 pounds bigger than you. Now, the rehydration clause is kind of crazy, but I will only do a rehydration clause for fighters if I go up to 147 pounds.
Bro, get this man out of here. He cooked, he chopped. I told you. Great fighter, you know, does his thing in the ring, but Ryan has every cause to be on your helmet and say you don't really want it, right? Keep in mind, this was previously Shakur on the Ring Show.
You got no power. You got no power.
And you lost. And you still scared him to this day.
No, you, bro. I'm gonna knock that gap right back in your mouth. I'm gonna knock that gap into your mouth again. You got no power.
So again, this was Shakur like, you lost to Rolly, Now you beat him. Great fight for the fans. You beat him. So again, I've been cooking Unpacked. Bad look for Shakur. Very inconsistent. I mean, I have them all loaded on my computer, right? I could really do this all day and just play Shakur clip after clip, and you'd be like, what? Like, here's another past interview from Shakur. Let me show you.
What would be your hardest matchup? Would it be Devin Haney? Would it be Tank? Or would it be Ryan Garcia?
Nah, Ryan, just X him out. He's trash.
Ryan Garcia, this is a past interview. Ryan Garcia, he laughs. X him out, he's trash. But you need a rehydration clause for Mr. Trash when you criticize Tank for it.
It's gonna be Tank.
Be Ryan Garcia.
Nah, Ryan, just X him out. He's trash. It's gonna be Tank. Me and Tank the big fight. I ain't say it before, but I'm gonna say it like me and him the big fight. I think when it come down to Tank, Tank just got that power that.
You think Tank washes? You think he washes
Here's another different
Frank Martin?
I mean, that's why he fighting him. He's picking and choosing. That's what he do. Tank take the least risk. If Tank was really a risky or this person he claimed to be, he would have fought Edwin De Los Santos. Why not fight the that actually fought me instead of the that pulled out from fighting me?
Because the world don't revolve around you. Bro, the man just said Tank don't take risk. He's picking and choosing. That's why he fought Frank Martin. But you want to bring Ryan down to 140 where you know he'd be a skeleton, or put him on a rehydration clause, which also wouldn't even work. He's an A-side. Why would an A-side conform to your rules? You see what I'm saying? So again, I've made my point. Shakur's all over the place, and y'all need to hold him accountable, just like every fighter. Hold on, let me take this. This is the same guy that said that Tank wasn't ish for fighting Ryan at a catch weight or whatever, or a rehydration clause. How could he? And y'all bought it. Y'all like, yeah, he got a point. It makes sense to me. But now he trying to do the same thing. He just said Tank be picking and choosing his people and who he want to fight, da-da-da-da. But now he whining about, man, Ryan, he going to be 20 to 30 pounds bigger than me on fight night. Again, I could even accept that if you weren't talking gangster.
If a guy is going to blow up to
saying you will whoop him
68 to 170, now it's like you in a ring with somebody that is like 20 pounds bigger than you. Now, the rehydration clause is kind of crazy, but I will only do a rehydration clause for fighters if I go up to 147 pounds. If a guy is going to blow.
So you're like, man, it's crazy to fight someone that much bigger than you. Don't mention him with Floyd, because Floyd did that on the reg as Money Mayweather. Skills pay the bills, right? And then how did you ever criticize Tank Davis? We know he's little compared to all these other Devin Haney's, Frank Martin, Shakur, Ryan. So why did you criticize him for fighting Ryan with weight stipulation as the A side, which you wouldn't be the A side over Ryan? So let me get this straight. B side Shakur wants to dominate or no fight. He wants to dominate the terms. But then when Tank was the A side over Ryan and he's little, right? He don't get no pass for fighting at the weight stipulation. Man, come on, bro. We unpacked. Let me know how I did in this video. Subscribe for more boxing news. I've already made my point. It's inconsistent at best. It makes no sense and it doesn't track well. Live streaming can be tough, which is why I use StreamYard. Click the link in the description for StreamYard, which is an awesome tool that enables you to set up your stream with ease of use. Get great results with live streaming. It's what I use. Stream to social media with ease with StreamYard. Live streaming is here to stay. Engage with your audience using StreamYard. Great way to reach out to your audience and connect. So you need a tool that can do that. If you're new to YouTube and you're struggling to get views, one tool I can provide to you is TubeBuddy. I've been on YouTube over 10 years. I use TubeBuddy daily to crank out videos just like this one that you're watching. Learn how the pros do it with TubeBuddy. YouTube receives a lot of traffic, which also means a lot of creators, a lot of people putting out content. So you need to learn the ropes so you know how to separate yourself, especially if you're new. But even if you're a pro, use TubeBuddy. The link is in the description. Get more views, more subscribers, and a higher click-through rate, so ultimately you can realize all of your online goals. Use my affiliate link in the description and grow your channel fast.